Hello and welcome to episode 17 of the Long Shot Podcast, brought to you by 342 Productions. I am your host, Duncan Robinson, here in Miami, boots on the ground, in the flesh, with Davis Reid in our makeshift studio. Davis, how are we doing?
I'm doing really, really well. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be back in our makeshift studio. Happy to be here in Miami. I'm great. Really no complaints. No complaints. In good health. Fully vaccinated, which is exciting.
You and I both.
Here comes summer.
Still somewhat distanced, just to be safe. But
slightly closer than normal, though. Like you've come a foot and a half closer this way.
At least for those watching on YouTube.
Which is exciting.
If you're listening on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, we actually encourage you to tune in on YouTube as well. Kind of get the full experience, I guess.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe. Smash that like button.
Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe. We had a fantastic dinner with our bosses, our coworkers, some combination of the two. Tommy and JJ down here in Miami. We recently played the Mavericks. So JJ was in town. Tommy and Davis both were able to, once again, fully vaccinated. We're able to travel down to the Sunshine State, South Florida, and we just had really the first time the four of us, not on a Zoom, got to chop it up, and it was a good time.
Yeah, it's the first time I got to meet either of those guys in person.
Yes.
Which was pretty exciting.
Yeah. It was, kind of felt like we were just doing our own little version of a podcast.
It really did, actually.
At moments, I was just kind of like, yeah, it'd be interesting if there was just kind of a record button going on here. I think there was some podcast-worthy content. And then maybe some content that's made for not public airwaves.
Right.
But it was enjoyable nonetheless.
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of find myself doing that in normal conversation now. I don't know if you feel that way, but I'll just be talking to someone and feel like I'm actively listening more than I would in the past. It's like this is training me.
Yeah, it's a good. I would say that's a good quality that you're developing. A skill in some respects.
It wasn't meant to be a brag.
Well, we also actually got to sit down and chop it up with our video guy. I don't know, that seems demeaning to call him our video guy. Yeah. But he does all things video, Jason Gallagher, who is world-renowned, really, from between his time at The Ringer and super talented, creative dude, and is personally responsible for doing all of our video stuff, as well as JJ and Tommy. So that was enjoyable as well.
Yeah, all these guys are studs, which is really my takeaway from being down here this week. Is like we're in good hands.
Yes, the pod is in good hands, and I think it has a bright future, which I'm excited about.
I think so too. So we have our list of topics here. The next one is one that you're really excited to talk about, but I'm going to force you to. You've broken another record. We need a sound effect for these. Wee wee.
Well, okay, yeah. So it's. Do you want to say what it is? Because
I'll say it. You became the fastest in NBA history to make 500 threes, which this happened a couple of days ago. So the vast majority of people listening to this might already know that, but and I know you obviously already know that. But again, another remarkable milestone that you've set.
Yeah, I mean, off the air, I tried to tell Davis that I imagine from an audience perspective, it's just like, okay, I mean, I was the fastest 400. Like, are we just going to keep doing this?
Yeah, if you keep breaking records, then yes. Cause
I know, but at what point, if you're the fastest 400, fastest 500, isn't there doesn't it then become an expectation that you would be the fastest to 550 and the fastest,
Maybe, but all of those things don't get any less impressive. Also, everyone who listens to this, I assume, wants to celebrate those things with you. So we're going to take the time to take a moment and give you your flowers. So the fastest 500. Let me just quickly say, no other player, so you did this in 152 games. No other player in NBA history has made 400 threes in 152 games. So I know you keep giving your media answer of, it's the sign of the times and there will be somebody who comes around and break. But what you've done so far, we're not saying you're at the mountaintop, but what you've done so far is really impressive. And yeah, if you're the first to 600, guess what? We're going to mention it on the pod. And we're going to keep doing it as long as you keep setting these milestones because it is worth recognizing.
I just feel like there's a certain responsibility that comes with having a long form mouthpiece to the public. And there's almost a misuse going on if
By us?
Yeah, if we're going to dedicate 5 to 10 minutes every month and a half to some record that's for sure going to get broken here soon.
By you.
No, by somebody else who's going to be given the keys to the car of an organization on day one, and they're going to shoot the same way I did. I mean, I didn't have the keys in that sense, but I had the free reign to just go out and be aggressive. But somebody's going to break it here. It's a short-lived record. We're not talking Wilt's 100. We're not talking, Stockton's assist record. Like those are ones that aren't going to get touched.
Duncan, so let me reiterate. In 152 games, you made 500 threes. The next closest in 152 games is Devontae Graham, 384. Okay, he's not even the same.
Devontae can really shoot.
Of course. And after that is Luka at 379, and then it keeps going lower and lower, obviously. No one is even within 100 makes of you. My point is, this one is pretty remarkable. And I think even Spo was asked after that game when you broke it about it. And even he sort of had a moment of like, that's impressive.
He also followed up that with what I want to hit on, which is that so much of the credit, of course, I have to make the shots, but a lot of the credit should be on my teammates as well. You look at my percentage of field goals made that are assisted, it's way up there. I'm not James Harden. I'm not shooting unassisted step back threes from the logo. It requires ball movement, player movement, screens, all these things. It's a group effort. But
of course.
Anyways, let's just move forward, please.
All right, fine. We will.
What else do we got?
All right, fine. We can move forward. Do you get media trained with this stuff? Like, it seems like you have a clear direction of where you want to go with these answers.
I had one media training course at the University of Michigan, which was probably necessary because it was basically for all of us coming out of high school. I was coming out of college because I transferred, but us new guys. And, that for a lot of us was the first time that we were actually dealing with media exposure. So I had one course or like a little, couple sessions back then. But since then, no.
This is while you're a student at Michigan?
Yes.
So the NBA doesn't
As opposed to what else?
Well, I'm just saying the NBA doesn't do anything. They don't sponsor that.
Oh, no, I don't believe it. I mean, there's like some little stuff in like rookie transition where they just kind of talk about the kind of pitfalls that come with being overly, oversharing with the media and the kind of the dangers of that. But no, it's not any sort of like intensive course. I mean, the other thing now too is you got to understand, guys, once they've gotten to this point, they've usually played high level college basketball. Most of them are usually high level recruits in high school, where everything is getting, browsed and everything is getting analyzed. So anything you put out is going to get scrutinized if it's not up to standard.
Right.
Therefore, guys learn. Most guys truthfully learn through mistakes. You have a mistake, a blunder, or whatever, and then you learn not to do it. I think I've actually avoided. I'm trying to think if I've had a media blunder, but I don't think I have.
I can't think of one.
Yeah.
But you're not really even on media. Like, you don't even really give yourself the chance, like, except for post-game interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah, that's the extent of it.
But you're right. I mean, and the high recruits, like, think of like Mikey Williams, like the kids who are that. I mean, he's in a kind of stratosphere by himself. But those kids are, when they're 15 years old,
superstars.
They have a magnifying glass.
I mean, that's just another example as to why I think the NLI stuff that we've talked about with Billis on previous episodes is so important, is because a lot of these kids really do have opportunity to generate serious income just off of the likeness of their own name, which should, without a doubt, they should be entitled to. But I guess that's a different story for a different time. Let's actually wrap up our suit winners. So we finished the suit giveaway. Let's put a little bow on that.
Yeah.
We selected all of our winners. So if you've heard from us, obviously you are now a winner. And if you haven't, unfortunately, you didn't win that one, but we're hopeful that there's another giveaway on the horizon here. So
thanks again to everyone who submitted. That we had so many. Again, we've said this, but we had so many good ones. It was impossible to choose like the most deserving. There were so many. But excited about the winners that we chose, and congrats to those folks. They know who they are. We've reached out to them on social media. You know, I think we'll do some more stuff like this moving forward.
For sure. Absolutely.
Because this one was fun.
Yeah. I hear rumors circulating that we have a new segment.
We do. We do. So, and again, we need, I think we need a soundboard, because I want a sound effect for that too. We need a sound effect for when you break a record, and then we need sound effects for new segments. This one, I don't know how much of a recurring segment this one's going to be, because
probably not.
It's not one that you can
This
do.
might be a one-hit wonder.
It could be.
A James Blunt, if you will.
But I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
We don't really have an official name for it. I'm thinking we go with like a Debo versus the field.
Okay.
Or like a stats stack up. You know, there's a little alliteration there.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
I don't love the second one, but it's
you're not
all right.
feeling it?
The effort's there.
We'll go with Debo.
Let's get to the content here.
Duncan versus the field.
Okay.
I got to build a little anticipation. Right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read you off some stats. Like, I'm going to give you a stat category. You and someone else in the association.
Okay.
And I want you to guess who's higher in that stat. So, for example, if I said points per game, you and Giannis.
Right. I think
Giannis is probably higher in that category.
Giannis, yeah.
So I'm going to try to give you a couple that are maybe not as obvious.
Okay.
And see if you can get them. But don't look at my screen, because I have them written down.
Go ahead.
Okay. We're going to start with 3-point attempts. I'm going to give you 3 guys. Rank them in order of attempts per game.
Okay.
Okay?
I have a pretty good grasp on this.
Yeah. I think you should.
Statistic.
This was probably the
in
easiest
particular.
one.
Okay. Go ahead.
You, Jordan Clarkson, Luka.
I think I'm first on there, would be my guess. Over 8.5 or over 8.4, something like that. Oh, JC gets him up. I would say JC is 2 and Luka's 3.
JC 8.7.
Wow.
You 8.6.
Wow.
Luka 8.4.
So
all
wrong.
in the same category. But if
Okay.
we're splitting hairs, you are actually 2 in that group.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay? Second one, blocks on the season. So this is not per game.
Total blocks.
Total blocks on the season. So you do have to consider like games played.
Yes.
But still,
Yeah.
rank in order. You, Marcus Morris, Donovan Mitchell.
Ooh. I hope for their sake I'm last on this. Donovan's missed some time though.
A little, yeah.
Yeah. I honestly don't know how much time Marcus has missed. I'll say Marcus is 1. I think Donovan would be 2.
Gotta be, right?
And then I would probably be 3 in that.
So here's what I would say to that. On the season, blocks, total blocks, you have 16. Donovan,
Not a whopping number by any means.
0.2 per game.
Oh dear. Real rim protector over here.
Donovan, 15.
Oh wow.
Marcus Morris, 13.
So I'm the leader in the clubhouse.
You're leading blocks in that of those 3. That was
guess
my
I am a
favorite.
rim
I think
protector.
that's one of my favorite ones here. Okay, steals on the season total. You, Derrick Jones Jr.
DJ.
has 36. You've got 35.
All right.
So yeah, you guys are right there. How about
neck
that?
and neck. I feel like this is a way you've now kind of turned this into like subtly complimenting maybe some underappreciated aspects of my game.
I mean, look,
it's not really what I intended this to be. But
if we're gonna celebrate your 16 blocks on the season, then sure.
yeah, sure.
Maybe.
I guess everything is context is required. But go ahead.
I'll give you 2 more here.
All right.
2-point field goal percentage.
Okay.
Okay? Rank in order.
All right.
You, Zion, Montrez. And
It's just 2-point field goals.
just
not
2-point field goals.
I mean, I know my 2-point field goal is pretty high just because I pretty much exclusively take
Right.
layups.
Backdoor layups.
Yeah. My guess is if I'm not 1, then I'm 2.
Okay.
I think Zion's 3 because everyone talks about this is like kind of like a trap question. Is what I'm picking up. So I'll take who's the other one? Montrez. I'll take Montrez 1. I'll take myself 2, and Zion 3. Is my guess.
Ding, ding, ding. This is
That's
your
right.
first correct.
First correct.
Montrez 63.8. You're 63.4. Zion 62.7.
Not my first correct. I got the Derrick Jones one as well. Just
fair. Yeah. Fair.
wanted to throw that out there.
But the caveat here I want to just quickly point out is Zion's taken 986 twos and you've taken 93. So
volume, there is certainly a difference in volume. Oh dear, that is a stark contrast.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Effective field goal percentage. Okay.
Yeah.
On the season so far.
Do you have a breakdown of what that stat is?
Sure, I can give you one.
No, I don't want it.
Okay.
Just go ahead.
You, Steph, Giannis.
Once again, I know this is one that favors 3-point shooting heavily.
Maybe.
So my guess would be Steph 1, myself 2, Giannis 3.
As of yesterday, so when people hear this, these numbers might have shifted a little bit.
Hopefully in my favor.
Hopefully in your favor.
Yeah.
You're at 61.1. Steph is at 61.1.
Oh,
Giannis is at 59.9.
So you set me up for failure there because
A little bit of a trick question.
There's a tie.
There's a tie.
Okay.
But I think what's remarkable about that is it just speaks to how effective Giannis is, right? Because like you said, that stat favors the three-pointer.
Well, I was going to say either that or it suggests how valuable 3-point shots are.
Sure. Yeah. I guess that's the other way to look at it.
Shoot them accurately.
Right. Which you and Steph both do pretty well.
Anyways, that was fun.
Yeah.
I actually thought I held my own.
You did pretty well. And again, you know what? It's funny. That maybe did make it seem like I was trying to give you compliments in some of those. But again, let's just keep in perspective. What we really did is shout out that you have 16 blocks on the season.
Yeah, pretty inconsequential number.
Yeah.
All right, we got in that, mind you, that's taking place of your Reddit question.
Yeah, I think so.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We're going to go to our long shot feature. Emily White.
Yes.
Who is a softball player at Paradise Valley Community College in Phoenix, Arizona. This one was sent to us.
Yeah.
She got in an ATV accident during a camping trip last year and was unfortunately forced to amputate her leg.
Yeah.
Which is obviously tragic. But now she's worked her way back onto the field with her teammates less than a year later.
Yeah,
that's an incredible turnaround time.
Insane
for an amputated body part.
I watched a video on her, a news story on her that said I think she was an outfielder before the injury. She moved to the infield just because I think her prosthetic leg works better on the dirt, which makes sense. Yeah. So shifted positions.
Also probably a little less ground to cover.
Yeah, true. Shifted positions, and then just learning to move.
Yeah.
Like forget sports, just like learning how to get through life with an amputated leg is remarkable. And then just within a year, learning how to play a new position in softball on it as well is just pretty crazy.
That's remarkable. So shout out to Emily.
Yeah.
For the perseverance, and it's always stuff like that just kind of keeps our problems in perspective. For sure.
I like that that's becoming a theme on this pod.
What's that?
So we get into this with Karis.
Oh yeah, provide a little perspective.
We got into it last week with Joe.
Yeah.
We've touched on it with a lot of our guests.
Yeah.
Just keeping things in perspective. I think that's important.
Yeah, I think for me, not that we need to turn this into, some sort of psychoanalysis.
Sure.
But I think so much of that literally just boils down to empathy, of just thinking of other people more and of yourself a little bit less. It's certainly something that I strive to do. Of course, I think everybody could be a little bit better with that. And I think if everybody did try to be a little bit better, we'd be a little bit better off as a society.
I like to remind myself sometimes that nothing matters. And I know that sounds really dark or depressing.
A little ominous.
But we are, let's get really existential for a second. We're just floating on a planet in space. And, it's like, it's important to keep that stuff in perspective. You know what I mean? Like, it's like looking up at the stars and looking at everything out there and just think, you know what? We're really small in the grand scheme of all of this. Yeah. Let's just, try to be kind to one another and be happy.
Yeah, I mean, we've covered a lot of bases with this opening. Let's get to our conversation with Karis. This is a fun one. Obviously, college teammate and close friend of mine. Was good to chop it up, talk about some serious things, some fun stuff. and also, of course, catch up on some hoop stuff as well.
This is one that we will probably do again in person because one of your best friends, just the best, seems like.
It's almost, and I'm now also realizing this now that we're in person, it's as much as I love Zoom and it's allowed us to do a lot of really cool interviews, it's a challenging dynamic to really be able to have the back and forth, the banter, to really be able to tap into that, just because, the technology, the lag and everything in between. But you're right. I think that in a different setting, and he was great and he's awesome, but in a different setting, I think it could be even better.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, a great one still.
All right. So here's Karis.